Praise be to Yevon. In Final Fantasy X, the people of Spira follow the teachings of Yevon. A practitioner of the Yevon faith is referred to as a Yevonite. The faith is named after Yu Yevon, Hartju Jibat Vin, Ebonzu Ebonju, a summoner who lived in Zanarkand 1,000 years ago. Nearly all the peoples of Spira follow the teachings of Yevon, including the Ronso and the Guado, converted during High Summoner Braska's Calm by Jiskal Guado, and Kelk Ronso as part of Grand Meister Yo Mika's sub-races appeasement policy. The Al-Bed are an exception, and are viewed as heretics by the theocracy for their use of machina, a practice forbidden by the Church. As for the Hypello, whether they follow Yevon's teachings is never explored. Yevon draws inspiration from real-world religions, such as Shintoism, practices and temples, Buddhism, iconography and ritualistic disciplines, as well as Islam and Catholicism, pilgrimages, hierarchical structure, and doctrines. The teachings of Yevon give meaning to people's lives in the face of death. And what director Yoshinori Kitase tried to show in Final Fantasy X was how people behave in the face of unavoidable fate. Though Yevon has roots over the whole of Spira, it doesn't officially have worldly authority, as governmental duties are left up to regional self-rule. However, the leaders of each area are backed by the temples. Yevon is funded by donations received from Yevonites. The temples aid the populace by using their finances in various ways, such as operating the Shupuff crossing service at Moonflow, operating as places of worship to Yevonites, and training summoners. Control is carried out by 4 Meisters, called the 4 Meisters of Yevon. At the top of the hierarchy is the position of the Grand Meister. In Final Fantasy X, Grand Meister Yomika has held the position for 50 years. Below the Grand Maester are 3 positions referred to by the title of Maester, a station similar to that of a cardinal in Catholicism, though one casually addresses a Maester as Your Grace, a title reserved for bishops instead of Your Eminence, as is the custom regarding cardinals. The 3 Maesters below the Grand Maester oversee the 3 ministries of civil affairs, military affairs, and temple affairs. And their duties include making laws and presiding over Yevon's High Court. The current Minister of Civil Affairs is Kelk Ronso. He is in charge of the Judiciary, Treasury, and General Civil Administration. The current Minister of Military Affairs is Wen Kinok, who is in charge of the General Military Command and doubles as head of the warrior monks and oversees the Crusaders. The current Minister of Temple Affairs is Seymour Guado, who maintains the rituals and teachings of Yevon and oversees the summoners. He has the authority to handle records of the sealed histories. High priests represent each temple across the world, but they have no voice in the temple's inner circle and only have control over their respective temples. In an exception to the rule, Maester Seymour concurrently holds the post of High Priest of Macalania Temple and the current Minister of Temple Affairs. The next step down are the priests of Yevon, whose job is to attend to the temples throughout the land. Many priests are summoners or former summoners. Priests tend to wear multicolored vestments of white, green, and orange. Below the priests are summoners, a position similar to a cross between a priest and a Miko. Summoners are charged with the greatest responsibility of all, to journey to Zanarkand, obtain the final Aeon, and destroy sin. Summoners also perform the Sending, a ritual that guides the souls of the dead to peace on the far plane. The title of High Summoner refers to summoners who have defeated sin. Lastly, Yevon has a number of acolytes, similar to deacons or nuns. They work throughout Spira performing various duties. Officials of Yevon wear a band down the front of their robes with 6 glyphs. The 6 signs also appear on Yevon tapestries, the sleeves of Seymour's wedding suit, and the map of Spira. Yevon has militant arms in addition to the summoners. Warrior monks. Warrior monks serve as protectors to the Meisters. And the temples, seen primarily in the city of Bevel, similar to the Swiss Guard of the Catholic Church. The temple's official position is that even those who oppose Yevon should not be harmed, but in reality, the warrior monks do crack down on those regarded as heretics. Guardians, the summoner's bodyguards who are not directly related to Yevon. A summoner chooses their guardians, and can choose non-Yevonites if they wish, though doing so is not only rare, but looked down upon, despite there being no rules explicitly forbidding it. The unofficial title of Legendary Guardian is used in reference to Oron, guardian to both Braska and his daughter Yuna. The Crusaders, formerly known as the Crimson Blades, the Crusaders are a loosely knit army that protects towns and temples from sin. Unlike the Guardians, Crusaders are directly related to Yevon. No non-Yevonite is permitted to serve as a Crusader, although there are unofficial chapters comprised of people who have been excommunicated. The Crimson Squad. Around the time of Operation Mi'ihen, Yevon conducted a final selection process for a group called the Crimson Squad, an elite unit to replace the Crusaders. Unlike the Crusaders, non-Yevonites were allowed to train with the Crimson Squad. Yevon's official doctrine states that they do not permit their clergy to engage in romantic relationships. This does not apply to lay people, however, and there are examples of priests and summoners who have spouses and families. Yevon views romantic love positively and encourages its followers to marry. In fact, some of Yevon's festivals revolve around romance. One example is the Festival of the Hunt, where young men and women dress up as beasts and hunt each other with snowballs. Another example is the Sending, a celebration of Valentine's Day in which children throw heart-shaped projectiles at eligible bachelors and bachelorettes to show their affection. If someone wants to join Yevon, they must first have a private audience with the local priest, who will ask them questions about their life, their reason for wanting to convert, and any doubts they may have. If the priest accepts them, they become a Yevonite and receive a white robe to signify their acceptance. And that's all for today. Please subscribe and leave a comment. And for more lore, keep it right here. Until then, this is your host saying, "Get behind me, Satan."